All right, I will be starting the live stream soon. So yeah, if you're listening to this, it'll be about a minute away. I'll just let everyone load in and then we'll be ready to go. All right, I think that'll be it. I'm going to pause the music. So yeah, welcome to the live stream. We have a lot to get through. Every week, there's always something happening in AI, and I know it can be pretty hard to keep up to date with what's going on. So yeah, this is aiming to distill all of this into a quick 5-minute recap of what happened last week, and the takeaways from this should be a understanding of where the small to medium business area is heading in Australia, and what some of the latest trends in AI might do to impact business. And this is something that is across all different areas. So yeah, this is worthwhile. It's always changing, so I just like to keep up to date with people. I'm always trying to evolve this as well. So if you've got any ideas on how to improve this or how to make this any better, feel free to reach out to me. It's always it's always something that I like to improve as we go. And we're always evolving, always iterating, and try to improve this bit by bit every day. So let's get into it. So let's do the recap. Last week, we saw a few different headlines coming out. So I had AI analyze all the news in the last week and what actually applies to small to medium businesses. So Labor's just announced, in preparation for the federal election, is that they will extend their $20,000 instant asset write-off. This was on April 4th. The ABC News reported that Australia's Labor Party promised to extend the asset write-off for another 12 months if they win the upcoming election. This tax break, set to revert to $1,000 on July 1st of this year, allows small to medium businesses and tradies to deduct expenses immediately. This is often something that can boost cash flow, investment in equipment, and help small businesses that employ a large amount of people, over 5 million people in Australia. So small to medium business is really the driving factor behind this. There are critics that say, for example, the Australian Chamber of Commerce say that this is, argue that this is insufficient without permanence, potentially limiting long-term planning. So spending quickly to get instant write-offs without thinking of what has direct ROI and makes sense from a business perspective, not just a nice little piece of equipment that they would like to get. So that could be different across businesses, how they decide to do that. Obviously, that's up to them. If they're getting a bit of a kickback, they should be smart about doing that. And I try to keep this pretty apolitical. I'm not trying to promote anyone. There's some interesting aspects to write-offs that allow businesses to upskill and bring their workforce into the modern age, as well as their business into the digital age. And that's becoming more and more pressing, as a lot of businesses I'm seeing at the moment are falling behind and aren't looking at using new tools. So I think that's the biggest mindset shift. There's quite a lot of fears around digital transformation that need to be tackled, and it takes a bit of an approach to do that. So this write-off could help those businesses do that, but obviously they need to be thinking more about long-term planning rather than just buying equipment. They need to be strategic in how they navigate the next wave of the macroeconomic space, which seems to be in a bit of a downturn at the moment. So get strategic and upskill would be my advice to that. If you were going to write anything off, would be upskilling and strategy. But I might be biased and I may be wrong. So anyway, another headline that's come out is that there was a cyber attack that hit the Australian super funds and started really impacting small business owners. So last week, the AFR and ABC, multiple sources reported that there were coordinated cyber attacks on major superannuation funds like Australian Super, affecting all of its members, including small business owners who rely on these funds for retirement savings. So at least $500,000 was stolen from one fund. It's still nothing to squint at, but it is a decent sized amount. There is starting to face small business owners are starting to face a heightened financial insecurity with disrupted access to accounts, compounding economic pressures. This underscores the need for stronger cybersecurity investments and a potential cost burden for small firms already stretched thin. This I've seen time in, time out. Barely anyone's using, the most encrypted password managers with the highest levels of security. Even those can be a point of attack. There's barely any authenticators and passkeys being deployed, and just the bare minimum of cybersecurity is often an afterthought for small firms. And when that happens, it's just too little, too late if you're trying to invest in that after the attack has happened. So as a response to this, I would say that AI is getting more and more advanced. Scammers are getting more and more advanced. So we have to get more advanced to keep up with the pace. It is just a game of cat and mouse. And we just need to be able to slowly improve the way that we're doing things. So I run setup sessions with individuals to set up the basic of cybersecurity, of their cybersecurity needs. That's authentication, that's passkeys, good password managers, and just setting up their emails so that it's got the right filters in there, and training them on some basics for detecting emails and using AI as a tool for security. I think that's a really interesting power hour session that I do with people, where we set up a couple of their authenticator accounts. We go through a hands-on workshop with taking an email and exploring how we can use the AI tools to check if it's correct before you go and click on anything. Rule of thumb, don't click on links in emails. It's just not a good idea unless you know the sender, and you have to really check that the sender address is correct. Even still, I've seen sender addresses getting hacked. So you want to be able to check that company hasn't been hacked previously. So that's another thing you can use AI to do. Anyway, there's a lot of ways around that, and I really encourage you to do your due diligence and invest in cybersecurity before it's too late, so that we can get you up to speed with the basics and create some get you up to speed with some standards and put those on your website. It's a great tool to build trust with your clients as well. It's not just a security thing. You can actually show people what you're doing, and it can build a lot of confidence in your clients. Outside of this, another headline is the COSBA, so the Council of Small Business Organizations Australia, pushes for small business tax cuts from 25% to 20%. So on April 1st, maybe this is a joke, but Macro Business reported that the Council of COSBA launched a campaign to reduce the company tax rate for businesses with turnovers under 20 million, citing their $500 billion economic contribution. So if successful, this could ease financial strain for small businesses amid rising costs, though it's tied to election outcomes and faces political hurdles. It reflects a broader push for tax relief as small firms grapple with a cost of living crisis and staffing shortages. So in Australia, we do have a fairly reasonable cost of living. We can buy a burger for about $15 to $20, a good burger, whereas many others can pay a bit more. And why is the burger such a good display of the cost of living? Well, it actually has a number of different ingredients that requires a major logistics chain and widespread food industry to come together to build one product. Outside of that, you've got energy costs; those are coming up, and rental prices in certain areas can contribute to those staffing shortages. So we want to make sure we have good staff, good talent, good people around, and making sure that they are inspired and motivated by work. You really want to be able to invest in efficiency, because burnout often comes from the feeling of inefficiency in an organization. So if they feel like things aren't moving and we're doing things the hard way, often people burn out and just feel demotivated by the work. Not that you need to motivate them directly with management. You can motivate them through appealing to what is important to them. That is often feeling like the company is making a difference and doing things in a very interesting way. Not only are they then able to get better jobs afterwards and maybe cycle back into your roles with that IP, but also the company itself will be able to maintain its efficiencies throughout this economic downturn. So digital transformation is one of the major drivers of efficiency. Particularly AI is just insane. I'm going to say insane. Maybe that's too hypey. I will show you why. There's some interesting things in the next slide. That's my high-level overview for your business needs. I like to use AI to keep up to date with what's going on. And leading up to this federal election, I'm keen to provide some insights using AI into the election and into some of the policies that may affect smaller business. And it's great for myself, it's great for you, and I like to relate this all back to AI and why this is important. So next slide. This is a post from myself. If you jump on my LinkedIn, you'll be able to see what I post about each week. I've also got this on my Facebook. But the UN just warned that up to 40% of jobs globally could be impacted by AI, and most business are not prepared. And I've seen some of these cases day in, day out. It's all too obvious that businesses don't see AI as a high-level decision maker or an assistant to them in their work, and often just lean on them for some light, low-level tasks and think it's kind of cool to generate an image here and there or generate some text. but it can do so much more. And I've noticed that people go into ChatGPT and then come back out of it thinking that it can't do what they wanted it to do, but they haven't spent the time with an expert actually reviewing how to fine tune ChatGPT and set it up to their needs. So I really, really encourage you spend the right time on ChatGPT. And if you don't have the time, getting an expert in, because the experts will help you save that time and get straight to the clear use cases. And that's literally my job. So there's a huge growth in AI, but most businesses don't have the ability to build this in-house. They're not a tech company. They focus on other aspects, and by all means, that is totally reasonable. And there's a lot of high-cost consultants that don't deliver the hands-on approach these small businesses need. And unfortunately, they do a disservice to the industry, because there are people out there that have been working on the tech bench, that have hands-on experience with AI and can start from where you're at and bring you up to speed. It is incredibly important that we're not just spruiking theory here, that we're actually setting people up for success with practical solutions. So, and an affordable way that delivers long-term value and really is unique to their business, because every business and individual is different. So this is a huge digital divide that is widening as we speak. I'm seeing some businesses that are building entire AI agent teams and upskilling their entire workforce to compete with larger and larger companies. And it is just driving their revenue higher and higher, and their efficiencies across their day-to-day. They're just taking on more clients, responding to more proposals, delivering more proposals. It's just becoming a black and white digital divide at the moment. You're either using AI to its full potential, or you're just scratching the surface, or just not using it at all. And there are two different areas there. So make sure you're ready. This is a post that I found on X. It's a leaked internal memo from the CEO of Shopify. This just came out this morning from Eisenberg. He provided 10 quick takeaways. So I'm just going to quickly read through a few of them. But you can see here that this memo at the number one is to use AI effectively, using AI effectively is now a fundamental expectation of everyone at Shopify. So it's just clear here that they're putting AI as a major strategic importance, and it really is it's a tool that of all trades today will only grow in importance. So it's just getting more and more important. It's not feasible to opt out of learning the skill of applying AI in your craft. You're welcome to try, but I want to be honest, I cannot see this working out today, and definitely not tomorrow. Stagnation is almost certain, and stagnation is slow motion failure. If you're not climbing, you're sliding. And that's a very clear statement from the CEO of Shopify, that a huge reframe here is that they're looking at hiring an AI before they hire a human. That's their clear statement. AI is now baseline expectation at Shopify, and hiring filters will probably favor AI fluent candidates at Shopify and other companies. And AI agents are now treated like teammates, not just tools. That flows into prompting being now a core skill, and top performers will be top prompters. So prompt engineering is a top skill that they're looking for. And when you look at this, AI usage is actually now measured. So there could be a bit of a business idea around measuring AI usage by individuals at the company. AI prototyping, AI first prototyping is the new standard. So shipping speed will probably 10x even at $100 billion companies like Shopify. What does that mean? You can build a prototype using AI very, very quick, and get from ideation to implementation almost within a morning, if not afternoon. that is just insane for engineering teams. I've seen a number of teams shipping more features, more tools internally, faster and more effectively. Sorry, that's my coffee machine going off. Org charts are now blurring. Headcount planning now includes bots, not just bodies. So we're seeing a new change of how organizations structure themselves, where we're putting agents in these sort of executive roles and building teams of agents that have their own teams of agents underneath them to perform tasks and interact with each other. I've seen a number of very interesting org charts that are around that topic. And yeah, I mean, AI literacy is the new coding literacy. So when we all talked about you need to learn coding, you need to learn how to use computers, that is still somewhat effective. You can be a very effective coder and be more effective for the organization. But now I feel like a lot of these non-technical roles, you need to learn AI and particularly prompting, because that is going to 10x your role, even if you're not going to learn the coding side, or the technical side. AI literacy is really important to maintaining a relevance in the changing world. So even if you're just evaluating AI output and contextualizing AI so that it can understand more about what you're doing, I think those are very important roles. And we've seen the reshaping of roles based on, recent journalists that have been fired and now being brought back in by AI companies to evaluate AI output. But obviously those that have the ability to do so, if the journalists have left, they may not be able to do so anymore. And they may not be upskilling in AI to come back in these new AI roles. So that's a very important post there. I recommend you read more into that. I just feel like it's going to hit a number of companies in the next 6 to 12 months. I think I see it at a much quicker timeline. They're saying around 12 to 24, but it's going to start hitting pretty hard. Those clear facts when you have one of the most effective team members in your team being an AI is going to be very clear for some organizations and businesses and less clear for others. So how is this going to change? Well, I've done quite a lot of analysis into the gaps of revenue for AI leaders and those that lag behind. And I'm seeing a pretty clear growth trend here where there may be initial cost to implement AI, but the long term pays out tenfold. So delayed AI adoption risks a 7.2% revenue gap between AI leaders and laggards. So laggards are trending around 2.7% growth year on year, but those who lead are at 9.9%. And this really affects the competitiveness of your organization and the local economy. So if you're a government agency, I highly recommend you invest in upskilling in AI, someone who has the practical hands-on skills. And really this adoption fosters that innovation and digital capabilities across numerous functions of your business. So it's pretty clear. There is a huge gap, and 76% of business leaders are reporting difficulties at the moment. It's pretty clear that even across digital implementation and AI solutions, there's a major gap in those who want to integrate it. They spend quite a lot on these expensive consultants and never really get a clear direction, or they get sent a $100,000 bill for a solution that may or may not create any effects for them, but it's just a pretty big bill to start off with and start creating some gains. So figure out where we can start in that space is my suggestion. And if you need some help doing so, feel free to reach out. So yeah, I have a number of other slides. I won't go through them because we're at time now. This has been the Unlock AI, Transform Your Business in 30 minutes. I try to keep it on the 30 minutes or less than. And I'll just check to see if we've got any comments. Let's see. Yeah, so Rohan, great to see you, man. I need a PW manager. I'm happy to chat with you about that. There's a number of password managers that are out there that I would recommend. And yeah, feel free to give me a message. I've got a little list of password managers. If you want a list of AI tools, I also just did a post on LinkedIn and about to on Facebook about my top AI tools. So feel free to check that out. And if you want a power hour on breaking down those AI tools, feel free to reach out to me and we can structure a quick session on getting you kickstarted in those tools to make sure you can get the most out of them. And that also includes password managers as well, because that's a big aspect of AI, making sure you've got all the tech there to support it. So I will end the live stream now. If you want to chat more, I'll put my QR code in the top right there, and you can reach out to me on any of my platforms, or I've got my new website I've just launched. I'll bring that up. One moment. Just stop that and share. So yeah, I've just launched my new website. If you want to reach out, feel free to submit the contact form or book a discovery call here, and it'll take you through to my booking page. If you have any questions, feel free to discuss that in our session, and you can book across these times with me. It'll be a 15 minutes discovery session. We'll find exactly what AI means to you and what tech you can start implementing today. And it's a free, no obligation chat about how we can help. So feel free to check out my website. I've got plenty of resources on there and information on how it affects your business and your personal life. If you also want, there's a little AI chatbot in the corner, and you can reach out to me on that. And yeah, chat with my free AI assistants here. All right. I'll talk to you next week. In the meantime, stay safe and yeah, use AI. Cheers. Bye.